we're in the middle of the advanced grading. Here it's our final group. They are finishing their fitness test. They're 1 minute 30 seconds in. Highest grade's got to 5 minutes with a plank position. As you can see, the coaches are motivating all of the students to keep going. They've done all their combinations, their self-defense, pressure testing, clinching work. They've done loads of sparring. Some students have even sparred instructors. So we're so close to the end, and I'm really excited to see next week when we give belts out to all the students. So let's see what happens. Ready? Bow to each other. Let's go, Caitlin, let's move, come on. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Belts on, stay standing, onto your markers, please. What's the difference between a regular grading and an advanced grading? So a regular grading is white belt to blue tag. Advanced grading is blue belt to black. The other main difference is that regular gradings are held in regular classes. The reason for that is because there are A, lots of students, and B, we don't want to change it up because we want students to feel safe in that space. If we change the class and change the coach and the students, it changes the whole environment of the session. We want them to feel comfortable. But the advanced grading, we want to make completely different. We want to throw those students completely outside of their comfort zone. They're going for a high belt, they're going for high grades. It's important that it's taken to the next level. Typically the gradings are 2 to 3 hours long, and it's done with a panel of instructors. So 99% of the time you'll see about 5 or 6 instructors sat at the front on a desk shouting commands and assessing the students whilst they're showing their techniques. This for me is what a grading is. I've always done gradings with a panel, so to be part of that panel is such an exciting thing for us instructors, and to see the students be nervous but also give 110% in that advanced grading, it's amazing. So in terms of the process for an advanced grading, it's relatively similar to a regular grading. So the pre-grading is exactly the same. We assess those students in their advanced classes, and they go through the same journey as every other student. It doesn't change. Once the pre-grading is done and those students have passed and they've been selected, we then move on to the recap week. Recap week, same, it's exactly the same, but we offer advanced students something extra. So on the weekend of recap week, we'll offer what we call an advanced day. So that's where it's a 3-hour session for all advanced students. So from blue belt up, those students are allowed to take part. It's a 3-hour training session where we go into so much detail in the stuff that they need to do for their grading. It's almost like a session, like a last minute revision session a week before. That is where you typically see lots of students coming to us saying, I need help with this, or I really want to focus on this because I find it a big challenge. So that's where we really go through the syllabus, and typically, same again, we see about 4 or 5 instructors in those sessions, just to make it more one-to-one so the students really gain the most out of it. Once that week is done, recap week is finished, we come on to grading week. Typically it's on a Saturday or a Sunday. It's a 2 to 3 hour exam. It's a physical exam, so no theory, but what it consists of is individual techniques. We then go through combinations from the lowest grade, which will be blue belt, and it will go up all the way to black. Once that is done, we go through self-defense, the same process, lowest grade to highest grade. After that, we go through what we call pressure testing. So pressure testing is essentially where we'll select 2 or 3 of the highest grade students in that class to stand in the middle of the room, and us instructors, we will attack them. Sounds scary, sounds really like, oh my God, what is going on? But it's something that is important for us to teach the students that yes, they do their self-defense and their techniques, but can they apply it into a real life situation? Of course, the attack is relatively controlled, but we do apply pressure, hence the name, pressure testing. Once every student is done, the pressure test is complete. Essentially what we look for is how you act under pressure, how you control yourselves. Once that is done, we then go into our clinching work. So clinching is where it's a lot of head grabs, it's very sort of close combat work. We see a couple of knee strikes, some elbows and some sweeps and some trips as well. This of course is in the advanced syllabus. It is relatively simple, but it's important that the students know it. Once that's been done, we then move on to sparring. So we give students 2 minutes and we're strict on that to put their sparring kit on. If they're not ready, then we start without them. Each student will go around and we'll pair students up with someone that's relatively the same height and same level as them. We'll do about 3 or 4 rounds of sparring as a whole group. We'll then sit students around in a circle and we'll have 2 people up at a time in the middle. What we always do, and it's important that we do it, is with the highest grades, we throw them into what we call a shark tank. So typically this is from red belt and above. Those students will spar with every single other student in that advanced grading. So whether there's 5 students or there's 15 students, they will spar with everyone. So by the time they finish, they will be tired. It's important that we put them through that pace. Once that's done, we move on to our fitness test. This is where you see the real spirit of those students coming out. They're tired, they're exhausted, but they're still pushing through. They're trying to control their emotions, but they're trying to let everything go at the same time. So fitness test is done. Obviously, it's the same as regular gradings in that it's push-ups, sit-ups, squat jumps, and the plank. The higher the grade, the higher the number or the time. Once that's completed, we line the students up, we bow off, we congratulate them for taking part in such an amazing event. With the advanced students, especially with their grading, yes, it's hard, it's difficult, and the way that the instructors are inside the class, we're so strict and we want everything out of those students and we want them to give 110% in that grading. But everything that those students do inside that exam, we've all done as well. We've been there and we've done it, some of us numerous of times. If you look at some instructors that are 3rd, 4th or 5th degree black belts, they've done it 4 or 5 times. So if you think doing one of those black belt exams is difficult, look at your instructor and look at what such an inspiration that person is. They've done it 4 or 5 times and they keep going back for more because it's such an experience and it can be life-changing, it's character building, it's developing you as a person. So whatever the advanced students go through in their grading, we've all done exactly the same as well. When we walk into an advanced grading and we're leading the advanced grading with our students, when we see maybe a blue belt keeping up or encouraging a red belt to keep going and the whole group works together to support that one person, we will look at each other and we're like, wow, this is exactly what we do in black belt gradings. And we've not even told those students to do it. They think, you know what, we're one group, we're one team, let's jump in and we help everyone. We all want to make sure that we all pass this, so let's pass together as a team. To see all of our students jumping in and helping each other is such an amazing experience. The advanced grading is very physically challenging. There's so much fitness, there's so many techniques, the sparring, the shark tank that we throw the higher grade students into. But every single student faces that mental challenge of an advanced grading. Walking into somewhere and knowing that you've got an exam and that we say it's going to be difficult, it's not going to be easy, and your parents are not going to be there to watch you. An advanced grading is very different. We don't allow parents inside. You see some of the students and they're absolutely terrified, but when the whole group unifies together and they become one team, they're an independent person. They smash it, they do so well. And yes, some students, they don't pass the grading, but you know what? It's a learning curve. I can tell you now, all of the instructors here, at one point in our martial arts journey, we have not passed the grading. There's been a point where it has happened. I know for a fact for myself, there's been a time where I've not passed an exam or passed a belt grading exam. It has actually changed my outlook on the martial art. I look at it now and I think, you know what, I'm so happy that my instructor didn't pass me, because if I passed every belt, I wouldn't be challenged. I just would have glided through and it just would have been easy. So to be held back and to be motivated more to, you know what, I want to pass this grading, I'm going to come 3 times a week between now and my next exam because I want to smash this. It's such a huge thing. So that's why it's really important that that the students they keep that mental strength to keep going. If you pass, if you don't pass, it's not a problem. Either way, you'll get there. The journey never stops for anyone, it just keeps going.